Hello, everyone, and welcome into Baytown, Texas for tonight's volleyball match between Melvin University and the Lee College Navigators. I'm Evan Geiger, and tonight is an exciting night. It's our first ever Millers volleyball broadcast. JMU, Melvin University, is participating in their first ever volleyball season, as you probably know. And head coach Ben Cazzetta has the Millers 4-6 on the year so far. Although, if you knew it was our first season, you probably also know that our games don't officially count until the upcoming seasons. But you can't tell these athletes that they are playing hard across all of our 5 sports that we have so far. 6, I think, even with golf. Now, talking about Lee College, new head coach Erica Jimenez and the Navigators are 5-9 on the young season and 2-4 in conference. I would expect to see big performances from outside hitter Miley Pinson. She's a sophomore. And Caitlin Honora, another outside hitter. They both have 156 and 149 kills, respectively. Pinson also leads the team in service aces, so expect her to pick up 1 or 2 of those. Sophomore Brandolyn Freeman has had about 1/3 of the team's blocks, with 35 of them, despite missing 4 of the 14 games. So expect her to start the block party here. And then for Lee, you can expect setter Clarissa Diaz to put up some big assist numbers, as she's averaging about 5 per set. First serve is over the net. Kawa digs it out. Freeman attacks it, and it's sent over, attacked and deflected. Set up there for Francois. Dug up. Freeman attacks with the left hand. Ball sent high in the air, out of play, but it's returned, and they're going to make a mental mistake there. It was between number 7 and number 13, Abigail Van Zant, and Jamia Francois. Neither were able to get it. And it's 1-0 Lee. So we're going to see Miley Pinson. We mentioned her service aces. She's serving here. And that is going to be, I think that is an ace. 2-0 Miley Pinson. We mentioned how many times that's happened. So Lee is starting off with a Miley Pinson, number 11. Number 4, Clarissa Scari Santos Paulo Diaz. Bailey Kawa, number 9. Brennelyn Freeman, number 14, as this is hit up in the air. Set up and attacked. That's Shriver on the attack. Attacked here, and that is going to be a kill for Caitlin Honora. Out of Houston, Texas. Also out there for Lee is Jada Brown, number 8. Mentioned Freeman, Honora, and Brown. Set up by Van Zant. Francois attacks, and that is the first JMU point of the night. Francois gets a kill. They're going to sub out Francois. And we're going to see a serve from Kylie Klein. Klein out of North Branch, Minnesota, Iowa Lakes Community College. She's a junior defensive specialist. And that is going to roll over a point, a service ace for Kylie Klein. It is 2-3 your score. Klein to serve. Looks like they're ready to serve now. Klein hits it over. Kawa bumps it up. Set there for Freeman. Freeman taps it over. Dug up by Klein. And attacked and deflected. Set up here for Shriver. And it was blocked by Freeman. It's Lee's point. 4-2. Freeman mentioned leads the team in blocks. Gets in on the block there with, I believe Caitlin Honora was also there. Maybe it was Jada Brown. Kawa serves. Shriver goes out of bounds, but Klein is able to hit it back over and return it. Set up there and deflected. Set here now for Honora. Klein gets it up in the air, and Shriver attacks. Freeman now with an attack error. It's 4-3. Freeman with the attack here. She's from Dickinson High School. Was a big part of this team last year. Serve here from Zoe Barnett, the libero. And I believe they're going to call in the net. So that should be JMU's points, and we're tied at 4. Barnett's listed as a libero, but the libero right now is Kylie Klein, wearing the white jersey where everybody else wearing blue. Freeman attacks, bumped up there, and attacked, and Kyle was able to set it up, and nice little rally here. Shriver attacks, just poked over. Attacked and blocked, deflected off the hands of, I believe, Palin Scholander, and it's 5-4 Lee. Palin Scholander's from LaPorte, Texas, which is right down the road. I'm sure her family was able to make it to this one, not too far. Middle hitter from LaPorte High School. It's probably 15 minutes away. So Letitia Barea is going to sub in. She's from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Hope Bailey to serve. She's from Baytown, another hometown player. And Solander bumps it over. Set up here for Barea. Barea attacks, deflected, and that's Barea's kill. It is 6-4. Bailey serves again. Set up here for Shriver and deflected. A block for Barea. A kill and a block in quick succession. 7-4 is your score here. Lee has Kawa, Natalie Galvan, Hope Bailey, who just served, Letitia Barea, Caitlin Honora, and Kennedy Reyesin. And that's going to be JMU's point, as that one not able to make it over the net, 7-5. We're going to see Jasmine Shriver from Ezerville, Iowa. From Iowa Lakes Community College, the last school. Junior outside hitter to serve. And she sends it over. Cowell bumps it high off her arms. And this is set up, and it's going to be under the net. JMU's point. So it was returned, but too low. And that is a kill for Abigail Van Zant. Van Zant is a setter and a right side hitter. She's one of the few setters who gets a lot of attacks. Honora attacks, sent high in the air. Shriver bumps it up, and Klein bumps it over. Attacked by Lee. Van Zant up to Scholander, and just knocks it over the defense just enough where it falls into no man's land. No woman's land, if you will, and it's 7-7, a kill for Palin Scholander. Shriver to serve again. Shriver sends it into the net. A service error puts Lee on top 8-7. Here is Caitlin Honora, sophomore out of Houston, Texas. Been a big part of this Lee volleyball team this year. Shriver bumps it up. Sets for Scholander. Scholander taps it over. Set here for Amiley Pinson, and it's going to go into the stands. It is 9-7. A kill for Amiley Pinson, who we mentioned leads the team in kills. Looks like she's gotten an increased role this year. Last year played, but she wasn't the team leader in kills like she is this year. Sets for Barea. Barea taps it over. Scholander taps it over. A little collision between two navigators. And now Honora attacks from back row. Attack there, deflected. Honora bumps it up. Sets for Pinson. Pinson attacks. Able to dig that one up, and it's not going to go over. Good effort, but Lee's going to have another point. Should be a kill for Amiley Pinson. Bumped up. Van Zant sets, and it is going to be touched and sent back over. Now Honora hits it in the air, sets for Pinson. Pinson went to leap but had to go backwards, and Van Zant has it returned. It's JMU's point. Assuming they called a double hit there. I think they called a double hit on Kawa, perhaps. Kawa, the libero for Lee. Here is Palin Stolander to serve, and that is a service error. Jamia Francois is in for JMU. Dania Ponce Diaz is in. Abigail Van Zant, Zoe Barnett, Jasmine Shriver, and Kylie Klein in for the Millers. Bumped up high, and Pinson will bump it over. Barnett under it, and Jamia Francois taps it over. And they're going to give the point to JMU. Some sort of infraction by Lee. It's 11-9. Number 2 checks in for JMU. Set up here and just tapped over, and a mental lapse as that one is going to fall in. A kill essentially for Jada Brown. One that you would expect to be returned, but it was one of those you got it, situations. I played recreational volleyball, and that happens a lot. Especially at the lower level you get, it happens a lot. But it happens even like this. Here is Clarissa Scari Santos Paulo Diaz from Praia Grande, Sao Paulo, Brazil. Bumped up in the air. Set for number 2, and she misses with an attack error, 13-9. I do not have number 2 on my roster. And every other player has been accounted for. Serve from Clarissa Scari Santos Paulo Diaz. Set up by Van Zant and attacked, and that is going to be JMU's point as it was deflected out of bounds. A kill for Dania Ponce Diaz. So we got Dania Ponce Diaz, and we have Clarissa Scari Santos Paulo Diaz. 8 names in between the two of them. An average of 4 names per player between those two. This is set up for Pinson. Bumped up and set for number 2, who taps it over. Brown gets under it. Sets for Pinson. Pinson attacks, deflected. Shriver dives, can't get it. It's 14-10 here in set number 1. Pinson now serves. And Van Zant for Francois. Francois misses. An attack error. Point Lee. Mentioned Pinson, so many service aces. She's already got a few times where she served and wasn't returned. Van Zant sets. Shriver attacks. And that is Lee's point as well. Attack error. Very competitive swing, though. Shriver's had some good swings. Pinson to serve again. Van Zant taps it up, and Shriver has to bump it over. Van Zant collides with number 2, and Klein can't return that one. It is 17-10. Timeout called by JMU. 17-10 your score here in set number 1. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back in just a moment. Welcome back into Baytown, Texas, campus of Lee College. Amiley Pinson is serving for the Navigators. 17-10 the score. She'll send it over. Klein underneath it. Van Zant sets. Francois attacks. It is deflected, and Shriver can't return it after a couple of deflections. It's 18-10. I believe that was a block for Freeman and Brown, or maybe it was Freeman and Honora. I wanted to pronounce it Honore, but Honore spelled differently in Louisiana. And a service error there by Amiley Pinson. A very good server. Sends one a little too far. We will now see the libero for JMU, Kylie Klein, junior defensive specialist. Sends it over. Kawa, libero to libero. And underneath the net, Honora had to go under the net. It's 18-12. Klein serves, and an ace. Honora cannot return that one. Had to dive for it and just a little short. Sent over. And that's a little discombobulation as that one kind of went where they didn't expect it. Lee's point, 19-13, your score. Kawa to serve. Bailey Kawa from Honolulu, Hawaii. Sophomore, was on the team last year. Tapped over, and they're going to call something against Lee. I'm not sure. I think maybe in the net. 19-14. 5-point difference here in set number one. Here is Zoe Barnett from Lafayette, Louisiana. Went to Erskine High School. And that is a service error. Freeman will trade out for Hope Bailey. Letitia Barea comes in for Clarissa Scari Santos Paulo Diaz. Both number 4 and number 7 from Brazil. Oh, short serve, and Klein couldn't get there. An ace for Hope Bailey. Hope Bailey, one of 2 players for Lee from Baytown. Van Zant sets it for Shriver. Shriver attacks. It's deflected. And blocked there by Abigail Van Zant as Kaylin Honora sent it over. And Van Zant quickly tapped it downward. It's 21-15. As mentioned, Van Zant more aggressive at the net than your typical setter. She's also listed as a right side hitter and has a good bit of attacks. Shriver sends it over. Kawa bumps it up. Sent up for Honora and just tapped over by Solander. Kawa bumps it over. Solander bumps it up in the air. Van Zant attacks. And, yeah, into the net. Van Zant from Clever, Missouri. Previously one of the 4 players who was previously at Iowa Lakes Community College. This is sent over by Honora and set on the wrong side of the net as it actually hits the net, and that is going to be a point for Lee as well. Here's Caitlin Honora. Serve again. This is bumped up by Shriver. Van Zant taps it over, and Klein there. Van Zant with an attack error. It is 24-15. That is 2 of the last 3 plays, I believe. She attacked on the second chance. You know, you get 3 in volleyball. She's attacked twice on the second chance, and attack error both times. Bumped up. Van Zant sets, attacked, and deflected. Dug up, and now attacked again. Honora bumps it. Bailey sets. Pinson attacks, and a kill for Pinson. And that is the end of set number 1, 25-15. Your score here at the end of set 1. They're going to switch sides. We'll go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. in between set 1 and 2 here in Baytown. Lee took set number 1 25-15. It was only like 3-point difference there for a minute. Take a minute to tell you about Calvo Tinted It. They are an Acadian-owned and operated window tinting company specializing in auto, home, and commercial tinting, where we strive for perfection, even if that means quality over quantity. Like and follow Calvo Tinted It on Facebook and call 337-654-8494. Vanilla Bean is a proud sponsor of JMU Athletics. Vanilla Bean isn't just a coffee shop. It is a community gathering space. Catch up with friends over lunch, start your day with their next level energy drinks, or simply unwind while drinking a crafted coffee in their cozy atmosphere. And I tell you, the old lady, she likes her some Vanilla Bean. Every time she comes visit me in Crowley, we got to go there. So if you're in Crowley, you're maybe a fan of another team, or you're a JMU parent who's not living in Crowley when you go, you want to go get some breakfast, you want to go get a good coffee, Vanilla Bean is a good place to do it. Rice City Lawns is a small local business that specializes in taking care of all of your residential and commercial lawn service needs. You can call them at 337-275-9371, or you can find them on Facebook. Got about 45 seconds here before the start of set number 2. So some competitive volleyball there. A few mistakes by JMU, but they were competing. See pretty good performance from Lee, though. Lee, a solid squad. Lee's got mentioned some returning players like Bailey Kawa, the libero tonight. She was a player on that team last year. Brandon Freeman was a really big part of the team. Alyssa Kamealoha not playing tonight, but she was the libero most of last season as a freshman. A very good player. She is really good. I was going to talk about her, but did not suit up tonight. Letitia Barea is a returner. And Miley Pinson, obviously a big part of this attack, leading the team in kills. JMU is going to start with Palin Solander, Abigail Van Zant, Jasmine Shriver, Dania Ponce-Diaz, Zoe Barnett, and Jamia Francois. And I believe Kylie Klein is going to sub out Jamia Francois. JMU with just 2 players on the sideline, with Savannah Hunt not playing. Meanwhile, Lee has, I believe, 5 extras with Kamealoha not playing. A little bit bigger roster. So start set number 2. We're going to get a serve from Clarissa Scari Santos Paulo Diaz, freshman from Brazil. She's going to provide the first set of serve of set 2 and goes over and is now attacked by Shriver, deflected by Brown, and they're going to call something against JMU. It's going to be Lee's point. I'm not sure what it is. See another serve from Diaz. Diaz sends it over. Barnett hits it up in the air, and Shriver just taps it over. A kill for Jasmine Shriver. 1-1 your score. Mentioned the junior out of Ezerville, Iowa. Previously at Iowa Lakes Community College, has had some good swings, and now she's going to serve after tapping one over into the empty space in the defense. Shriver serves. Honora bumps it up in the air, and now Honora will bump it over. Van Zant attacks, deflected. Barnett bumps it up in the air. It's going to roll over. Wow. Nice roll there from, I believe it was Klein who sent it over. Was just trying to bump it up, but it kind of went their way. Hit the net and spun around and rolled over. Ultimately, it's 2-1. JMU has the lead, I believe, for the first time. And now an ace from Jasmine Shriver. They're up 3-1. Jasmine Shriver with a kill and a service ace so far here in Baytown in set number 2. Shriver to serve again. Honora bumps it up. This is set for Pinson. Pinson attacks. This is deflected, and it's going to be Lee's point as it's deflected out of bounds. Here's a Miley Pinson. Mentioned her serving prowess. Sends it over. Barnett bumps it. Van Zant sets. Solander attacks. And that's a kill for Palin Solander. Jamia Francois checks in for Kylie Klein. Is it Clean? The I before the E throws me off a little bit. I think it's Klein. If I mispronounce anybody's name, just forgive me. Solander serves, and this is sent over. No, blocked. Should be Lee's point there. So it was not an effective block like I thought. Cowa now serves. Bumped up. Van Zant taps it over, and an attack error. Tried to catch him lacking, but just shoots it a little too far, and we're tied at 4. Bailey Cowa from Hawaii to serve. And that is a service error from Cowa. Miller's back on top. Number 2 checks in for Zoe Barnett. Gonna make sure before the next broadcast we find out the name and everything for number 2. This is not going to be returned. Miller's now up by 2 again. After losing set 1, 25-15, they lead here early in set 2. Van Zant sends it over. Bumped up, set by Diaz for Freeman. Freeman attacks, and it is blocked. JMU's point, they're up by 3. Biggest lead of the night. Jamia Francois and I believe Dania Ponce Diaz were in on that one. Sent over by Van Zant. Hit up in the air. Cowa sends it to Honora, who bumps it over. Shriver gets under it. This is set for Diaz. Diaz taps it over. Freeman bumps it up in the air, and Cowa will bump it over. Shriver gets there. Van Zant to Francois. Francois taps it over. Cowa up in the air. Nice little rally. Honora attacks, and this is going to be deflected off of Van Zant. A kill for Honora. Letitia Barea checks in. Hope Bailey checks in. Diaz will sit down, and so will Brandolyn Freeman. Kennedy Reyes in there right now as well. Van Zant sets it up for Francois. Francois taps it over. Reyes gets it to Barea. Barea attacks. It's deflected by Francois. Set by Bailey for Honora. Honora taps it over. Van Zant underneath it. Klein to number 2, who has it deflected downward, and it's 7-6. The 6 in for the Millers right now is Jamia Francois. Number 2. Number 8, Dania Ponce Diaz. Number 7, Abigail Van Zant. Number 4, Jasmine Shriver. And number 5, Kylie Klein. This is sent over by Bailey. Van Zant underneath it. Sets for Francois, who taps it over. Cowa unable to return it. It is a kill for Jamia Francois. She has tapped it over a lot, and that time it results in a kill. A timeout by Lee. First timeout they've taken. And we'll take a quick commercial break with JMU up 8-6. Welcome back in, everyone. Set number 2 here. JMU Miller's up 8-6 here after dropping set 1 25-15. We'll take a second to tell you about Martin's Auto. They're a Crowley born and raised company who looks out for their community. They cover your vehicle's needs from basic repairs to maintenance to window tint and more. They believe in quality work over quantity. You can call them at 337-785-1732. And you can find them on Facebook if you need any car work done in the Crowley area. Sent over by Diaz. Set up there for Honora, and that is going to be a kill for Honora. And it is 8-7 now. Natalie Galvan checks out, and Amiley Pinson checks in. It's Bailey, Pinson, Berea, Reyes, Kawa, and Honora. Shriver with a good swing, but it's going to be deflected, tied at 8 now. Here's a serve from Caitlin Honora. Van Zant sets, and Francois has it deflected. Van Zant sets again. Number 2 taps it over, and this is going to be blocked by Amiley Pinson, showing off the athletic leaping ability. Timeout, and 3 straight points for Lee coming off the timeout. Bumped up there, and now set for Shriver. Shriver attacks too far, an attack error. Shriver saying that it was tipped. Should be 10-8 Lee, and Honora is going to serve. Coach Ben Cazzetta and Jasmine Shriver both wanting a call that was tipped. Klein bumps, sets from Van Zant. Number 2 attacks. Honora bumps it in the air. Kawa up in the air, and now Pinson attacks. Klein able to dig that one out, and Shriver taps it over. Just tapped over there, and that's going to be a point and a kill for Kennedy Reyes. 5 straight points coming out of the timeout. Whatever the head coach Erica Jimenez had to say really worked. Now 6 and an ace from Honora. It's 12-8 as nobody hits that one. Shriver must have thought it was going to go out of bounds and let it go. Shriver in the air, Van Zant, and now Francois taps it over. Kawa sets up to Pinson. Pinson sends it too far. An attack error. Here is Kylie Klein to serve. Wearing the white jersey. Everyone else wearing blue tops. Sends it over, and Kawa in the black jersey hits it up. Now he's bumped up. A nice hustle from Klein. And that's Lee's point. It was a double hit. They're so good at noticing that stuff because I never see it. I will never, ever be like, oh, that was a double hit before they do. I don't even know how they see that stuff. Shriver bumps it up. Van Zant sets it to Scholander. And Honora to Berea. Dug up there by Diaz. And now number 2 attacks. And pushed over. Diaz to Van Zant to Shriver, who taps it over. And that is going to be a kill for Jasmine Shriver. Pinson had a dive and deflected it away where nobody could get it. 13-10, and number 2 will now serve. I believe this is her first chance at service here. Sent over, nice serve. Set up and attacked by Brown. Cannot be dug up by Klein, and a kill for Jada Brown. Jada Brown out of Atlanta, Georgia. The roster says Atlanta, but I'm assuming it's Atlanta. Just one T missing there. We'll see Paulo Diaz check in for Letitia Berea. One Brazilian checks out for the other. And we should get a serve from Paulo Diaz. Brandolyn Freeman, Jada Brown, and Miley Pinson, Bailey Kawa, and Caitlin Honora in for Lee. Barnett, Klein, Diaz, Shriver, Scholander, and Van Zant in for the Millers. Set up for Shriver. No, it went on the wrong side of the net to set, and ultimately it was bumped over by Kawa. Van Zant attacks, has it deflected, and now Shriver with a swing and a kill. Jasmine Shriver with a really nice swing once again. Shriver now to serve after an exciting kill there. She certainly put some good swings on that volleyball. Shriver serves. Honora under it. Set up and pushed over by Freeman. Shriver dives, can't get it. It's a kill for Brandolyn Freeman. Brandolyn Freeman, the sophomore out of Dickinson High School. real familiar with the Dickinson area. Pinson sends it over. Barnett bumps it up. Van Zant sets for Diaz. Diaz taps it over. It's deflected. And Klein bumps it up. Now Van Zant attacks. It's deflected, and they can't get it. A block, I believe, from Freeman and Brown. Some combination of the two. 16-11. And now Miley Pinson, the famed server, sends it over. Van Zant sets it up. Scholander taps it over. Kawa. And now Freeman has it deflected by Diaz and Scholander. A block there. It's 16-12. Jamia Francois will check in for Klein. Natalie Galvan from Mont Bellevue is in. That's right down the street. Galvan, the ball will find you. And now Honora attacks, and it is deflected out of bounds. My gut's telling me that's Honore. Van Zant attacks it over. And Francois deflected there by Diaz, attacked by Freeman. And that is Lee's point. It lands in bounds. I wasn't sure where that was going to land, but just snuck in, I guess. I didn't get a very good look at it as one of the Miller's players was in the way, and they let that one go. It's a service error, 18-13. If things hold, it looks like the Millers will improve upon their score from set one at least. Van Zant sends it over. Bumped up by Galvan. Freeman attacks, and too far. An attack error, 18-14. They just need one more point to tie their score from set one. As a coach, I would think constant improvement is all you could ask for. Honora to Diaz. Kawa bumps it over. Klein bumps it up in the air. And attacked by number 2, dug up by Diaz. Kawa bumps it high, and Freeman's going to bump it over. Klein to Van Zant, and number 2 attacks. It's tipped. Number 2 sets it up, and Shriver attacks from the back row. A kill for Jasmine Shriver. She has been the best offensive weapon for the Millers so far. Definitely looking good out there with a lot of those attacks. Van Zant sends it over, and too far. Service error, it is 19-15. Brennan Freeman will check out in favor of Hope Bailey, and Letitia Barea will check in favor of Clarissa Scari Santos Paulo Diaz. Kennedy Reyes is in, Honora's in, Kawa's in, and that serve is going to go out of bounds. They have eclipsed their score from set one here in set two. It's 19-16, just a 3-point game, one in which the Millers were up for a minute by 3, I believe, earlier in the set. Sent over by Diaz. Kawa bumps it. Bailey sets it. Honora attacks, and that's a kill. Nice swing from Kaylin Honora. Mentioned she is second on the team in kills, and now first on the team in kills will check in. That's a Miley Pinson checking in for Natalie Galvan. Honora. Van Zant sets it for Shriver. Shriver gets a kill. 20-17. Shriver's had at least 3 kills in this set that I can remember, possibly more. And now Kylie Klein, the libero, to serve. Klein sends it over. Kawa bumps it up and tapped over Bailey. And number 2 can't get it. Had her direction. She was going the opposite way. The momentum was taking her away from that ball. Was able to get a hand on it, but no chance at a playable return there. And I believe we'll see a timeout from Lee. Their first of the set. 21-17 is your score. We'll go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Set number 2 here in Baytown, Texas. 21-17. Lee is up by 4. A fan just dropped their drink over the fence and onto the playing court. Looks like a red Gatorade. And now back in her hands. Like a JMU player. Here is Kennedy Reyes, or JMU fan, I meant to say. Reyes sends it over. And Diaz bumps it up. Van Zant sets. Number 2 attacks. Now set for Barea, who taps it over. Klein able to get underneath it. Van Zant to Scholander. Scholander bumps it up. Van Zant pushes it over. Reyes is there. Bailey sets for Pinson. Pinson attacks. It's deflected. And now pushed over by Honora after a series of attempts to get it over. Shriver sends it too far. Score is 22-17 in favor of Lee. See another serve from Reyes after a nice little volley there. That is too far. Shriver wisely lets it go. 22-18. Now number 2 to serve again. She had a nice looking serve earlier. That one is ace. I told you she has a nice looking serve, man. 22-19. A much improved score from set 1 to set 2. Already with 19, 4 more than set 1. JMU very competitive here. And Kawa can't handle it. Back-to-back aces for number 2. 22-20 is your score. They're just 2 points below Lee. Another serve. Let's see if they can return this one. It's bumped up by Pinson. Bailey sets, and that is JMU's point. A double hit. It's 22-21. Led earlier in the set, got down a little bit, now within 1. They found some rhythm with number 2 serving. Sends it over. High in the air. Honora to Pinson. Pinson attacks, and they're going to say it hit the ground. The 23-21. I believe it is. Signal towards JMU, but I don't know if that was for a point or what. I think it's 23-21. Here is Clarissa Scari Santos Paulo Diaz to serve. Sends it over, and that is going to be a reception error. An ace for Diaz. Paulo Diaz, the chance to win the set, 24-21. The serve coming from Paulo Diaz. And that is in. Barnett lets it go, and back-to-back aces for Paulo Diaz. And they win it 25-21 does Lee. They will switch sides, and we will go to set number 3. Lee just needs one more set win over the next possible 3 sets to win the afternoon. So they win that one 25-21 after taking set 1 25-15. We'll go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back into Baytown, Texas, Lee College. Lee has won the first two sets, 25-15 and 25-21. A very competitive and close set number 2. Set number 3 upcoming here. Take a second to tell you about Calvo Tinted It. They're an Acadiana-owned and operated window tinting company specializing in auto, home, and commercial tinting, where they strive for perfection, even if that means quality over quantity. Like and follow Calvo Tinted on Facebook and call 337-654-8494. Now, Vanilla Bean, they're a proud sponsor of JMU Athletics. Vanilla Bean is not just a coffee shop, it's a community gathering space. Catch up with friends over lunch. Start your day with their next level energy drinks or simply unwind while drinking a crafted coffee in their cozy atmosphere. A few seconds until set number 3 starts. Looks like Lee is going to go with Bailey Kawa, Brandolyn Freeman, Amiley Pinson, Jada Brown, Clarissa Scari, Santos Palos Diaz, and Kaylin Honora. Meanwhile, JMU will have Kylie Klein, Zoe Barnett, Dania Ponce Diaz, Jasmine Shriver, Abigail Van Zant, and Palin Scholander. Zoe Barnett will serve to begin set number 3. Sent over, and Kawa bumps it up in the air. Diaz gets it to Freeman. Barnett able to get under it. Van Zant sets for Shriver. Shriver taps left-handed. Now Van Zant attacks. This is bumped up by Honora. And Pinson attacks. Deflected a pinball sort of effect, but it's a kill nonetheless for Amiley Pinson, Lee's leader in kills. Now Amiley Pinson, who also leads the team in aces, will serve here with a 1-0 lead here in set 3. Pinson shoots it over, bumped up in the air. Here is Shriver. Kawa bumps it up. Diaz to Freeman. Freeman attacks left-handed, and they're able to return that. Shriver and Diaz, I believe, combining on a nice little play there, and I believe that's JMU's point. In the net on Lee, I believe, or a double hit, rather. Double hit. Here is number 2, Natalie Galvan from Mont Bellevue, checking in for Amiley Pinson, sophomore out of Houston, Texas, who leads the team in a few different categories. Here's Jasmine Shriver to serve. Shriver sends it, and Galvan just unable to handle that one and probably should have let it go. It is an ace for Jasmine Shriver. Miller's up by a point early in set 3. They led in set 2 before ultimately falling 25-21. We're up by 3 points at one point. And Freeman attacks left-handed, taps it over, and that's a kill. Finds the blank space in the defense, and it's 2-2. Kawa sends it over. Barnett to Van Zant. Now Diaz has it blocked by Brandolyn Freeman. Mentioned she not only starts the block party, but is the block party. 35, almost a third of the team's blocks by herself, and she's missed 4 games. She averages 1 block per set. Nobody else on the team is over, half a block. Scholander sends it over. Galvan to Diaz, who sends it to Honora, who shoots it too far. An attack error, and we're tied at 3. Jamia Francois checks in for Klein. It is Francois, Van Zant, Diaz, Barnett, Shriver, and Palin Scholander for the Millers. Scholander serves, and Kawa gets it to Freeman, and now sent over by Diaz. Now the other Diaz pushes it over to the other Diaz, and Freeman now gets it. Shriver has to really try to dig it up. That hits the pole, and it is a point for Lee, 4-3. You got 2 Diaz's Paula Diaz and Ponce Diaz. Dania and Clarissa Scari Santos Palos Diaz. Here is Hope Bailey. Local freshman sends it over and dug up by Barnett. Just tapped over, and that's a nice little shot for Van Zant. A kill. Barnett comes out in favor of number 2, and now Van Zant will serve. Abigail Van Zant, the left-handed serve over the net. Kawa bumps it. Bailey to Diaz, who deflects it off of Honora. They're going to say Honora touched it, and it's JMU's point. They're up. Honora did not seem to agree with the call. And now Van Zant to serve again. Oh, that is an ace off of Kennedy Reyes. Miller's up by 2. Van Zant to serve again. Over the net, Kawa to Reyes to Honora. Van Zant sets for number 2. Number 2 attacks, and too far. The attack error gives a point to Lee. Miley Pinson checks in for Natalie Galvan. And we'll see Kaylin Honora check in. Or serve, rather. Van Zant up for Francois. Francois, a kill. Finds the hole right in the middle. And Miller's up by 2. It's going to be Dania Ponce Diaz out of Ezerville, Iowa. Same hometown as Jasmine Shriver, according to the roster. Both previously at Iowa Lakes Community College. Reyes gets a decline. Van Zant now to Shriver. Shriver swings, and they're going to say that's in. Coach Jimenez does not agree, but it's a point for JMU. I believe the flagman is the assistant basketball coach, so went with a light crew, I believe, tonight. Maybe Coach Jimenez did not agree with this call. Honora bumps it up to Bailey, and that is a kill from Letitia Barea, I believe. 2-point lead for the Millers, and Kennedy Reyes is going to serve. Reyes from San Antonio. I believe Coach Jimenez also from San Antonio. Coach Jimenez played at Prairie View, I believe. Klein gets it to Van Zant. Number 2 attacks. It's deflected. Number 2 gets it back in the air. Klein sets for Shriver. Shriver taps it over, and that's a kill for Jasmine Shriver. Give her another. Miller's up by 3 here in set number 3. Here is Kylie Klein from North Branch, Minnesota. The libero tonight will serve it, and that is bumped up by Pinson. Bailey to Barea. Barea has it blocked by Shriver and Scholander. Another nice play from Shriver. She has really provided some excitement for the Millers tonight. Here is Kylie Klein. Bumped up by Honora. Jada Brown taps it. It's deflected and then set up for Shriver, who attacks. And Kyle will have to run and get it. Now Bailey bumps it backwards over the net. Van Zant sets for Scholander, who taps it, and not hard enough. An attack error. They were up by 4, the biggest lead of the night. Now it is a 3-point lead, 10-7. JMU up here in set 3. Covering volleyball the last few years, I find that set 3 is where teams get in trouble. Team can win set 1 and 2, even handily at times by 10 points or so. And set 3, they fall so often. Perhaps that'll be the case here. We'll have to see. Freeman gets it to Pinson. It's deflected. Nice dig by Diaz over to Scholander, who bumps it up. It's deflected. And Van Zandt attacks from the back row. It finds a hole. 11-7. A kill for Van Zandt, even coming from the back row this time. Coach Amena is trying to coach up the Navigators, and number 2 will serve. She's had some nice serves, and Kawa can't handle this one. Honora gets it high in the air. Now Kawa will bump it over. Able to stay with that. Van Zandt just barely taps it over backwards. Van Zandt sets up for Shriver. Shriver has it deflected, and Scholander gets it. Now Shriver attacks again. A nice little hustle there. Pinson is able to get back in the field of play. Shriver bumps up for Van Zandt. Van Zandt attacks, and that is in! A 5-point lead. It's 12-7. Van Zandt with a couple of kills. The setter, we mentioned, a setter who doesn't get many attacks normally, but Van Zandt is a setter who does. She is, I think, second on the team in attacks. Good serve from number 2, but too far. Just a bit too far. Didn't realize it was going to carry that much. And the lead is cut to 4. Service error for number 2, and now a Miley Pinson to serve. It's dug up by Klein and attacked by Scholander. Pinson bumps it up, and Freeman taps it over. Barnett there. Van Zandt sends it, and now Diaz taps it over. Shriver dives, can't get it. Shriver says she hit it. So it's 12-9. Shriver not happy with that call, thinking she got underneath that one, but they give the point to Lee. Thinking Shriver didn't think they should have blown it dead. Now Barnett will have to send it over. Kawa underneath it. Diaz to Honora, and that is a kill for Honora. Obviously, second on the team in kills. She has a good swing and shows it off there. The lead, which was 5, now down to 2 after 3 straight points from Lee. The ball boys have forgotten to send the ball in a few times. If you're wondering why this is taking so long, that's why. And a service error from a Miley Pinson, a very good server. We all make mistakes sometimes. Pinson just a little short on that one, and she'll check out in favor of Natalie Galvan. Here is Jasmine Shriver to serve. She's provided some electricity for the Millers. See if she can provide any more. Kawa underneath it. Diaz. And sent too far by Jada Brown. Millers up by 4. Shriver to serve again here. And Honora under it. Diaz sets up for Freeman. Freeman attacks. Shriver able to just defensively get it up, and they send it over. Freeman attacks again, and that is a really good swing from Brandolyn Freeman. It is 14-11. Freeman is a menace at the net. All the blocks and the kills. Mentioned Pinson and Honora with a lot of the kills, but Freeman would be there if not for missing 4 games. And now Kawa with a service error. She's, as a libero, very reliable usually, but mistake there, and it's 15-11, a 4-point lead. Just 10 points needed for the Millers to get a set victory. And Scholander now with a service error. Reyes, Honora, Hope Bailey, Letitia Barea, Kawa, and Natalie Galvan in for the Navigators. For the Millers, it's Jamia Francois, Abigail Van Zandt, Diaz, Barnett, Shriver, and Klein. Van Zandt attacks, and an attack error too far towards the stands. It's 15-13. Sent over by Bailey. Shriver under it. Van Zandt up for Diaz. Diaz taps it over, and that is JMU's point as it falls downward off the hands of Barea. Barea didn't seem to like the exchange there. Here is Abigail Van Zandt to serve. Miller's up by 3, needing 9 points. Galvan under it. Bailey sets for Barea. Barea taps it over. Van Zandt gets it up in the air. Klein bumps high for number 2. Number 2 attacks, and that is a kill. 17-13, number 2. With another nice play here. Van Zandt to serve again. That one was close. They said it was in, but I wasn't sure. Here's Van Zant. And that's Pinson who bumps it up. Set for Honora. Honora taps it over. Number 2 gets it up in the air. Van Zant to Diaz. Pinson to Bailey to Honora. Can't get it. It ricochets off the net and onto Lee's side. A 5-point lead for the Millers here in set number 3. They need 7. Lee needs 12. Can they do it? Van Zant sends it over. Pinson up in the air. Bailey. Barea attacks off the fingertips of Van Zant. A very nice swing and a kill for Letitia Barea out of Sao Paulo, Brazil. Sophomore in her second year here at Lee. Here's Caitlin Honora. Driver under it. Van Zant sets. Number 2 attacks. Deflected. And that is going to be a kill for number 2. Once again, a nice play from her. Pinson, I believe, who was the last to touch it, as it was deflected in a not the best position. Here is Dania Ponce Diaz. Sends it over. Set up by Bailey, and Barea taps it over. Van Zant up in the air. Number 2 attacks, taps it over, and another kill for her. She's been great. She's gotten a little more playing time. I feel like in set number 3, she's done well with it. And now Lee will call a timeout. JMU up by 6, looking good. We'll go to a quick commercial break. Be right back. Serve here from Diaz. Set up for Barea. Deflected. Set up now for Pinson, who attacks and kills. Coming out of the timeout earlier, they did very well, responded, and went on a rally. Ended up winning the set after being down by, I believe, 3. Now down by 5, and Reyes serves. Shriver gets it up in the air. And number 2 attacks too far. Back-to-back points scored coming out of the timeout. Coach Jimenez really knows how to get these girls going after a timeout. Reyes will serve. Shriver gets it up to Van Zant. Francois taps it over. And that is a kill. Effectively. A point for JMU off of Francois. Hits. And I believe it was Bailey who deflected it. And it was unable to be returned. Reyes perhaps didn't see it. I don't know. Need 4 points, and here's Klein to serve. Shoots it over. And that is going to be sent over now by Jada Brown. Shriver gives it to Van Zant. Number 2 taps it over. Kawa up in the air. Bailey sets for Amiley Pinson. It's deflected. A block from number 2. And Palin Scholander also there. 22-16. She has made some great plays here in set number 3. Klein to serve. Kawa gets it up in the air. Bailey for Barea. Barea with a good swing, and that is in. A kill for Letitia Barea. The assist from Hope Bailey. Bailey will come out. Brenda Freeman will come in. Clarissa Scari Santos Paulo Diaz will come in for Letitia Barea. They also have Kawa, Honora, Jada Brown, and Amiley Pinson. Millers have Scholander, Van Zant, number 2, Shriver, Diaz, and Klein. Klein bumps it up high for Shriver. Shriver swings, just kind of taps it instead. Kawa over to Pinson. Pinson, and that rolls over. Shriver rolls, but it goes under the net. It is a point and a kill for Pinson. Here is Clarissa Scari Santos Paulo Diaz to serve. Diaz underneath it. Van Zandt to Shriver. Shriver has it deflected. No. Shriver thinks that's a deflection. And it's going to be a point for Lee as they do not call a deflection. Shriver has been upset about that twice now. Here is Paulo Diaz to serve again. Down by 3. Too far. A service error from Paulo Diaz puts the Millers within 2 points of a set victory here in set number 3. And now number 2, who has really provided a spark with a chance here to get him a point closer. She's already had a few aces, a few kills. Sends it over into the net. No, not over. 23-20. Service error. She will come out in favor of Zoe Barnett out of Erskine High School in Lafayette. The libero on the roster, but not wearing the white jersey tonight. Here is Amiley Pinson. Taps it over. Klein to Van Zandt to Scholander. Scholander shoots it too far. 23-21, an attack error from Scholander. Now Lee has the ball, and they're down by 2. A timeout from JMU. They need 2 points for a set victory. We'll go to a quick commercial break, and we'll come right back. Amiley Pinson to serve. Sends it over. Diaz off her hand. Klein has to get it. Shriver has to bump it over. She does indeed. Kawa under it. Paulo Diaz to Brandolyn Freeman. It is deflected off of Scholander and Shriver. It is Lee's point. They have rallied back down by 5 just a few moments ago. Now, with a point here, they could tie it here in set 3. Been a extremely exciting set, and Pinson will serve. Barnett under it. Van Zandt sets to Shriver. Shriver attacks, and that is JMU's point deflected by Lee. Should be 24-22. And Shriver, very animated outside hitter with a chance to win it with an ace. Team just needs a point in any kind of way. Lee could make an error. Lee could not return the serve, anything. Kawa bumps it up high. Paulo Diaz up in the air. Honora taps it over. Diaz to Van Zandt to Scholander, who has to bump it over. It rolls over. Freeman taps it over. Scholander bumps to Van Zandt. Sets for Diaz. And they're going to call a double hit. A mistake there from the Millers, and Lee down by 1. They need 2. Kawa sends it over. Van Zandt taps it over. Kawa under it. Paulo Diaz up to Freeman. Freeman taps it over. Klein to Van Zandt, who just shoots it to the back row. Kawa to Freeman. Freeman attacks. Shriver under it. Van Zandt. Now Diaz, and that's a kill for Diaz. They're going to win the set, 25-23. How about the Millers? Losing sets 1 and 2, and we mentioned the constant improvement. 15 points in set 1, 21 points in set 2, and 25 points in a set victory in set 3. We're going to take a break, and we're going to go to set 4. Be right back in just a moment. Set 4 upcoming here after JMU takes set number 3. They dropped 1 and 2. Get the victory in set 3. And now they would need to win the next 2 in order to get a victory over Lee here. Lee just needs to win one of the next 2 sets. Take a moment to tell you about Rice City Lawns. They're a small local business that specializes in taking care of all of your residential and commercial lawn service needs. See that pretty cool commercial? You've probably seen it. You can call Rice City Lawns at 337-275-9371, or you can find them on Facebook. Vanilla Bean is a proud sponsor of JMU Athletics. Vanilla Bean is not just a coffee shop. It is a community gathering space. Catch up with friends over lunch, start your day with their next-level energy drinks, or simply unwind while drinking a crafted coffee in their cozy atmosphere. Between Vanilla Bean and, I believe, the new PJ's Coffee that's coming in, some nice places to get a good coffee, bite to eat, and hang out, do some homework, whatever it is. If you're a JMU student, might want to, you got your study hall, but maybe you want to study outside of study hall. Maybe you need somewhere to go with some Wi-Fi, or it's a cool atmosphere. Drink a coffee. They'll push you through final studying. You got options in Crowley. Got the Rice Festival coming up here in just a few weeks. It's a big deal in Crowley. If you've never been, you should definitely go. Set 4 starting here. Looks like the Millers are going to begin with Zoe Barnett, Kylie Klein, Dania Ponce Diaz, Jasmine Shriver, Abigail Van Zant, and Palin Scholander. Lee will start with a serve from Clarissa Scari, Santos Paulo Diaz, Bailey Kawa, Amiley Pinson, Brandolyn Freeman, Jada Brown, and Caitlin Honora out there. Klein to Van Zant, and Palin Scholander has to bump it over. It does go over. Set up for Pinson. Pinson taps it over, and a miscommunication perhaps, or just couldn't find it, as Lee is up 1-0. So now we'll see another serve from Clarissa Scari Santos Paulo Diaz. Freshman from Praia Grande, Sao Paulo, Brazil. Sends it over. Barnett under it. Van Zant sets for Shriver. Shriver with the kill. Nice shot. A good swing on it. Another kill for her. We are tied at 1. Shriver from Ezerville, Iowa. Previously at Iowa Lakes Community College, the junior outside hitter has performed very well tonight. Tied it at 1 now, serving, trying to take the lead. Freeman attacks, and that is a point for Lee. Kill from Brandolyn Freeman. She swings with such tenacity. Here's Amiley Pinson, the famed server. Shriver can't get it. It was kicked by Van Zant to the scores table. It is 3-1. You can do that. You can use your feet. Some people didn't know that. She wouldn't have kicked it too far. Maybe they could have returned it. But I don't blame her. You don't practice too much with your feet. Pinson sends it over. Barnett gets it high. Shriver bumps it up in the air. Attacked by Kylie Klein, and Kylie Klein is going to get a kill. The libero with the attack and the kill. 3-2, and now she will probably come out in favor of Jamia Francois. Francois from Morgan City High School, Morgan City, Louisiana. Sophomore middle hitter. And set up for Freeman, and too far. The attack error. We have a tie game here at 3 in set number 4. Who wouldn't love to see this thing go to a 5th set? Palin Scholander, local out of LaPorte, has an ace. Kawa can't handle it. Looks like she hit it and it just kicked off to the right. An ace for Scholander. Pinson gets under it. Diaz to Honora. Diaz to Van Zant to Diaz, and that is going to be a kill for Diaz. as it was deflected by Lee and went out of bounds. 5-3. The Millers are up by 2. Scholander sends it over. Kawa. Pinson to Honora. Honora attacks, and off the leg of Scholander, she will come out for Klein, and it's 5-4, a kill from Honora. Bailey Kawa to serve. Shriver under it. Van Zant just taps it over. Diaz to Freeman. Freeman shoots it in, just barely finds a little space near the line, and we are tied at 5. Kawa to serve again. Barnett under it. Van Zant up for Diaz. Diaz attacks, and that's a kill. Diaz gives the Millers a lead at 6-5. Now Abigail Van Zant to serve. Up for Freeman, who gets a kill. Slams it down. No chance to block that one. 6-6. Lee certainly has some good attackers, I tell you that. Saw them all last year, even losing, I believe, Mariah Lewis and Sierra Gilbert, a few others. Had a lot of talent on that team. Kawa gets under it. Attacked by Honora. That's a kill. Talk about those swings. Just nothing you can do about it. It comes in too hot. You got to be in the perfect position. Nearly no time to get there. And Lee takes the lead. Sent over by Paulo Diaz. Van Zant taps it up for number 2, who attacks and gets the kill. Deflected to the side judge. And we're tied at 7. Kennedy Reyes, Letitia Barea, Amiley Pinson, Bailey Kawa, Caitlin Honora, and Hope Bailey in for Lee. Here is Dania Ponce Diaz to serve for the Millers. He's going to be bumped up. And Bailey to Barea. Barea has it deflected. Almost ran into the ball cart. And that is a point for Lee. JMU has Jamia Francois, number 2. Jasmine Shriver, Abigail Van Zant, Kylie Klein, and Ponce Diaz. Shriver under it. Van Zant sets for Francois, who taps it over. Honora under it. Kawa up to Pinson. Pinson attacks. Diaz under it. Van Zant to Shriver. Shriver sends it too far. An attack error from Shriver. It's 9-7. This is set up for number 2. Tapped over. Barea sends it up. Kawa will bump it over. Just barely gets it over. Jamia Francois bumps it over. Set up for Kennedy Reyes. Diaz there. Van Zant bumps it high. Shriver attacks into the net. Attack error. It is 10-7. Lee up by 3. Here is Caitlin Honora. Diaz under. Van Zant sets. Francois taps it over. Sent back over. Francois tries to block it into the net. Number 2 as it rolled. And that is another point for Lee. Timeout. JMU down by 4 here in set number 4 after a great victory in set 3. Find themselves down here. We'll go to a quick commercial break. Come right back. Set number 4 here in Baytown, Texas. Caitlin Honora is going to serve. Number 2, Abigail Van Zant, Jamia Francois, Shriver, Diaz, and Klein. And it looks like they're going to give the point to Lee. I'm assuming it was an alignment error. We're not lined up correctly. See if they can get it right this time. Honora sends it over. Shriver under it. Set for number 2. Attacked and deflected up high in the air and blocked downward by Letitia Barea. A 6-point lead for Lee. This is going to be tough to overcome. Here is Caitlin Honora. Klein gets it to Van Zant. Sets for Francois. Up for Pinson. Pinson with the kill. Diaz dove, but it just kicks off her and goes to the bench. They have doubled up the Millers so far, 14-7 here in set number 4. Mentioned set 3 is a tough set to win as the team up 2-0. Van Zant to number 2. And just tapped over by Reyes. And that is going to be a point for JMU. Some sort of mistake by Reyes, perhaps a lift. Klein to serve with a 6-point deficit. I think when you're the team that's winning 2-0 and then you kind of lose set 3, it kind of wakes you up a little bit and you respond better in set 4. And that's going to be a point for Lee. I'm not sure what happened. They just said one finger. I don't know what that meant. Maybe they were in the net. Here is Kennedy Reyes, freshman from San Antonio, to serve. Off the net, a nice dive by Shriver. Way to hustle. Sent over by number 2. And set up for Barea, who pushes it to Diaz in the back. Van Zant, back set. Deflected. Honora there. Up for Barea again. Barea attacks. And it's going to be hit, but backwards and into the stands. It is 16-8, a kill for Letitia Barea. She's had some nice swings. Here is Kennedy Reyes. Reyes off the net again. This one gets up on Shriver quickly, and it's 17-8. Lee perhaps did not like losing that last set. Decided they were going to show full force here in set 4, up by 9. I think this is their biggest, or not their biggest lead, but one of the biggest leads. Van Zant to Shriver. Shriver attacks it, and it is deflected. It is 18-8. This is their biggest lead, and now Lee will, or JMU will take a timeout. Their last timeout, they will have no more. Lee is up by 10 here in set number 4. Go to quick commercial, be right back. Fourth set here, 18-8, Lee is up. Kennedy Reyes is going to serve. She is in there for Lee with Hope Bailey, Caitlin Honora, Amiley Pinson, Jada Brown, and Letitia Barea. Got about 5 attackers in there right now. Van Zant sets it up for number 2, who taps it over, and that is a kill. Another kill for her. They cut the lead to half. 18-9 your score. And now number 2 will serve. She's had some really tough to defend serves. She sets up all the way out of bounds and runs into the line. And sends it with power and an ace. Mentioned her serving prowess a few times and shows it off there with an ace. Kawa, a very good receiver. And she's talking to her bench saying, man, that thing comes in quick. Talking to Kamea Aloha, the usual libero. This is just tapped over after a powerful serve, a finesse serve. Now she'll bump it up in the air, and that is going to fall down as Jada Brown blocks that one. 19-10. Zoe Barnett will check in for number 2. Here is Clarissa Scari Santos Paulo Diaz. Van Zant, Scholander, Shriver, Barnett, Klein, and Diaz in. Van Zant has to get it up and just sent over by Barnett. Kawa makes a mistake, or nobody was there, or one or the other. 19-11. Point JMU. Here is Jasmine Shriver from Ezerville, Iowa. Serve over. Honora up to this Freeman ultimately who attacks, and it's deflected and kept alive. Diaz sends it over. Pinson underneath it. Set up for Honora, and that's a kill. Shriver dives, can't get there. 20-11, Lee needing 5 points to put this thing on ice. Here's Amiley Pinson. Mentioned number 2's great serving. Got to mention Amiley Pinson's great serving. Leads Lee in service aces. Van Zant sets for Scholander. It is hit high in the air. Kawa up to Freeman. Freeman taps it, and not hard enough. Into the net, and the Millers have a point. Jamia Francois checks in for Zoe Barnett, which I believe that's what they've been doing whenever Barnett gets to the front row in her rotation. Palin Scholander out of LaPorte High School sends it into the net. 21-12. Now Scholander will check out in favor of Klein. Kaylin Honora wants to talk to the referee up on the stand. Shriver's going to go and try to find out what's going on. And Bailey Cowa to serve. Shriver bumps it up. Van Zant taps it over. Cowa taps it over. Set up Van Zant. Backwards. Yeah, out of bounds. It was a nice idea, but too far. It's 22-12. And Lee leads by 10 again. Cowa to serve once more. Natalie Galvan is in there. Paulo Diaz is in there. Van Zant to Francois, who taps it over. It's deflected. Francois taps it back over. And now pushed. And Van Zant attacks. And it's deflected back over. Van Zant gets it. And now to Francois. No, nobody gets it. Nobody puts a swing on that one. And that is a point for Lee. They need 2 to end this match. Kawa, lofty serve. Van Zant up in the air. Diaz pushes it over. And set up for Reyes, who just taps it over. Van Zant tries to tap it over. She's had quite a few attack errors tonight, including that one. Mentioned she attacks before you get to the third opportunity. Kawa sends it over. And now Van Zant up in the air for Shriver. And Kawa gets it high. Freeman attacks left-handed. Shriver can't get it. Tried to use her foot. And they're going to win it 25-12. The best set for Lee comes here in the fourth one. They won set 1 25-15. They won set 2 25-21. They lost set 3 25-23. A great set for JMU. It was highly competitive on both sides. The Millers won a set, and they fall here 25-12. They lose 3-1 here against Lee. So 25-15, 25-21, 25-23 in favor of JMU, and 25-12. Your scores here in the 4 sets. JMU's next contest will be on September 26th at home against Louisiana Christian University. Lee's next match will come on Thursday at 6 p.m. against the Wharton County Junior College Pioneers down in Wharton, Texas. Lee wins it 3-1. Thank you so much for tuning in. Had a great time. It was a great game, great match. We'll see you at the next one. Peace.